Hello! I have chapter 10 here, Licking Wounds by Dreece. The third floor of the treehouse was a 6-foot square platform with a sturdy wooden rail. The view was breathtaking as the autumn sun touched the horizon and the adventurous day slowly retired. The brilliant colors of the forest mirrored the mix of thoughts and emotions the yellow-hooded trio felt as they sat and thought about their day. They silently watched the leaves dance and the trees sway. All of a sudden, Ellie hiccuped loudly. She tried to look embarrassed, but hiccups were more like a bear roaring than a mouse. Her hiccups were more like a bear roaring than a mouse sneezing. Richie and T tried to ignore it and continue the thoughtful mood. Once again, Ellie erupted in a hiccup. This time she was a bit embarrassed. Richie and T broke their silence and giggled. "It was terrifying," said Richie, looking out at the sunset. "The hiccups are what happened today?" "The hiccups are what happened today," asked T, trying to resist the grin creeping across her face. Ellie, trying to head off the teasing, took control. She looked at Richie. "You saved the day, Richie." T nodded in agreement. Richie continued to look straight ahead. "Were you guys terrified too?" "Yep," said Ellie. "Oh yeah," answered T. "That hiccup was monstrous." Ellie reached over and punched T in the shoulder. Richie smiled, nodded quietly, and then continued. "I was trying so hard to convince those guards to come. The older guard was just refusing and wanted to put me in jail if I wouldn't just go away. I was scared he was going to shoot the lady guard when she started to follow me. But I was more scared of you guys getting hurt. You know, when I got captured, I was really scared," said Ellie. "I kept thinking that maybe I should have planned a little." T turned and looked at her. "I'm glad you didn't. There was no time. I was out of energy. They would have caught me if you hadn't shown up when you did. You guys saved my life and my grandfather's. I don't know how to repay you. I'll never forget it." They sat there in silence again, watching the sun dip a little further beneath the distant mountain range. After a couple of minutes, Richie said, "You'd have done it for us, Lala." "Yeah, only you'd have done it if you were with more style," added Ellie, grinning. Richie sprang up and did an exaggerated imitation of T's signature gestures. "Oh yeah, and about a half a dozen la-las! Fear not, for I am la-la! La-la! Fa-la-la-la-la!" All three burst into hysterics. It felt good to laugh. T stood up and leaned on the railing. "We have to head back before our parents wonder where we are." As they started to walk down to the first floor, T said, "There's one thing I keep wondering about." "What's that?" asked Richie. "What was all of this about? I can't explain it, but I feel like there's something evil out there." "In the forest?" said Richie, a bit confused. Ellie corrected him. "No, she means out in the world." T nodded. "I feel like our fate is somehow tied to it." "Does that sound crazy?" "I know what you mean," said Ellie. "I feel like today was some kind of test." Richie took it in and asked thoughtfully, "And we passed, right?" "Time will tell," said T. "For all we know, this was only the first part." Nikolas walked up to his daughter's log cabin. He was tired and had cleaned himself up. He carried a bottle of wine as he always did when he'd visit for dinner. After wrapping everything up with the guardsmen and Captain Archambault, he was ready for a nice, normal evening with family. Jennifer was in the front yard splitting a few logs with an old hand axe. "Oh, hi, Papa," she said. She wiped the sweat from her forehead and glanced around. "Where's T?" Instinctively, he looked around, but then remembered. "Oh, she went off with her friends. She said she wouldn't be long." Jennifer gathered some pieces of firewood from the ground and then stopped. "You're a bit early," she said suspiciously. Her dad was notorious for being exactly on time. She studied him and her suspicion became concern. "I'll put some tea on. I can see you've had a busy day. Is everything okay?" Nicholas gave a tired smile. "Oh, yes, my dear. You don't need to worry about me." Father and daughter entered the log cabin. Jennifer dropped the firewood in the pile beside the wood stove. She took a moment to warm her hands by the fire, and then filled the kettle and placed it on the blackened iron stove top. Nicholas pulled out a chair from the kitchen table and sat down. He loved their cozy little home. It had 2 bedrooms and a main room. It was decorated with wonderful crafts. It radiated creativity and love. Jennifer took after her mother. Nicholas and Isabella had moved a couple of times before settling nearby, and each time Isabella had managed to turn a house into a home within days. "Hello, Papa?" Jennifer attempted to hand her dad a cup of tea for the second time. "Oh, sorry," he said, smiling, accepting it carefully with both hands. "You know, Papa, you are a bad liar. At least to me," she said, sitting down. He raised an eyebrow. "Oh, am I?" He paused. "Well, T and I, we had some excitement today." "Indeed, you're quite distracted." She took a first sip of her tea. Nicholas looked at his own cup. "I fear for some reason I cannot explain that what was happened is not over." "What happened, Papa?"